Group 1. King of spicy foods. Surströmming. Canned fermented herring with a strong smell that often needs to be opened outdoors. Hakarl. Fermented and dried Greenland shark meat, containing very high levels of ammonia. Fessik. Salt fermented mullet fermented for weeks. A tradition in the Sham el Nessim festival. Kusaya. Tuna or mackerel fermented in a secret brine with a very pungent smell. Pla raw. Freshwater fish fermented with rice bran, creating the rich salty flavor of som tum. Shrimp paste. Fermented prawns with salt, famous for their strong smell but sweet aftertaste. Mambo hawk. Fermented freshwater fish, an indispensable seasoning in many Khmer soups. Garam. Fish sauce made from fermented fish intestines, once a noble condiment. Shiokara. Fermented seafood, usually squid, with salt and its own internal organs. Bagoong. Fermented shrimp or small fish paste, used as a dipping sauce or in cooking. Budu. Fish sauce made from fermented anchovies, a specialty of Kelantan. Hanjio ho. Fermented stingray, with a strong ammonia smell that can be quite pungent. Jayotgal. Fermented salted seafood, shrimp, clams, fish, used in kimchi or as a side dish with rice. Colatora d'Elici. Fermented anchovy paste, a famous fish sauce from the Amalfi region. Hay jet. Fermented fish intestines, a savory variation used with rice dishes. Rakfisk. Salmon or cod fermented in brine for several months before being eaten raw. Canned herring. Lightly fermented salted herring, often served with onions. Patis. Clear fish sauce strained from the fermentation of anchovies. Kapi. Thick shrimp paste, used as a base for curries. Sinkalak. Small krill fermented with salt and sugar, resulting in a balanced sweet and sour flavor. Group 2. Masters of transformation. Casu Marzu. Sheep cheese fermented with fly larvae, also known as live cheese. Apoisses. Cow cheese washed with brandy, famous for its strong aroma. Limburger. Cheese world famous for its smell resembling human feet. Stinky Bishop. Cheese washed with pear liqueur, with a very strong, distinctive pungent smell. Kefir. Milk fermented with kefir grains, creating a slightly carbonated and sour drink. Kumis. Fermented mare's milk, a traditional drink of nomadic tribes. Skyr. A fermented milk product similar to yogurt but concentrated and rich in protein. Vieux Bouillon. A cheese dubbed the world's stinkiest in odor tests. Laban. Fermented milk used in soups or refreshing drinks. Leban. Naturally fermented milk, often used in stews. Dahi. Naturally fermented yogurt in earthenware jars, used in lassi. Matzoon. Thick fermented milk, used as a seasoning in many dishes. Filmolk. Mildly sour, thick fermented milk, often eaten for breakfast. Tarag. A product of fermented cow's milk, concentrated and preserved for a long time. Arul. Curdled milk, fermented and sun-dried. Shanklish. Fermented cow's or sheep's milk cheese, shaped into balls and rolled in spices. Yetist. A brown cheese made from fermented concentrated whey, with a sweet caramel flavor. Paneer. A type of fresh cheese with a slightly sour taste. Queso de mano. A lightly fermented fresh cheese, soft and juicy. Tvorog. A fresh cheese fermented from cow's milk, used in sirniki pancakes. Group 3. Miracles of the land and plants. Natto. Fermented soybeans with Bacillus subtilis bacteria, characterized by their sticky consistency. Kimchi. Fermented Napa cabbage with chili peppers, garlic, ginger, and seafood. Sauerkraut. Lactic acid fermented pickled cabbage, an essential seasoning for sausages. Tempeh. Fermented soybeans with Rhizopus oligosporus fungus, forming a firm mass. Miso. Fermented soybeans with salt and koji mold, creating a rich umami flavor. Pickled vegetables. Various fermented vegetables, eaten with rice. Sauerkraut. naturally fermented. Shredded cabbage, a classic accompaniment to sausages and cold cuts. Pickled bamboo shoots, fermented fresh bamboo shoots, with a distinctive sour taste. Injera, flatbread made from fermented teff flour, with a naturally sour taste. Poi, fermented taro root, a paste, a staple food of ancient Hawaiians. Sourdough, naturally fermented wheat flour using wild yeast. Idli, steamed bread made from fermented rice flour and lentils. Dosa, thin pancake made from fermented rice flour, lentils. Choucroute, the French version of German sauerkraut. Torshi, pickled and fermented vegetables, used in meals. Curtido, lightly fermented cabbage salad, served with pupusa bread. Gundruk, fermented leafy greens, often used in soups. Yan yan, various fermented vegetables in the Sichuan, Paosai, style. Kvass, a fermented drink made from rye bread. Boza, a sweet and sour fermented drink made from millet.